Take a few moments to work out your own slight edge plan for your health. You don't need to feel limited or constricted by this exercise. You can always change and modify what you write here. Use a pencil. But do yourself a favor. Don't skip over this. Actually, take the time to write down some solid ideas. You can always add to it and refine it later. In fact, you'll have to. That's how the slight edge works. You're not supposed to get it perfect the first time. After I ask each question, press the pause button and take time to write down specifics. Then press play and go on to the next question. What are your dreams for your health? Be specific and vivid. Include a timeline. What price will you have to pay? How do you plan to start? What is one simple daily discipline you commit to? Now that you've given your dream a framework and a deadline, choose to use the slight edge to achieve it. The slight edge and your personal development. In the amazing book, As a Man Thinketh, James Allen said, "You will become as small as your controlling desire, or as great as your dominant aspiration." Over the long term, the limiting factor is never circumstance or fate. The limiting factor is always you. In the same way, and for the same reasons, the limitless scope of possibilities is also defined by one factor, you. You already know of my passion for this area and my number one slight edge recommendation. I teach everyone I work with to read at least 10 pages of a powerful, life-transforming book each and every day. Building your own personal self-improvement library may be the single most valuable and important investment, after your personal health, that you can make. In addition to reading 10 pages a day, I also teach people to listen to a self-improvement audio cassette or CD for at least 15 minutes every day. The average person spends between 250 and 350 hours every year driving to and from this place and that. That's about 40 minutes to an hour each and every day. Is it easy to do? Easy not to do. And if you don't do it, what will happen today? But that simple error in judgment, compounded over time, will leave you a willing participant in the conspiracy of mediocrity that nibbles away at the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of the 95% who live out their days under the curse of Thoreau's famous epitaph for humanity. From Walden, the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. Listening to audios is an especially powerful slight edge tool because it can turn your downtime into uptime and double your productivity. You can drive to the store or work or school. You can jog, rollerblade, bike or walk, clean house, sit on planes, stand in line, pedal, row, ski, stretch and lift weights, all the while feeding your mind through life-transforming audios. And when you spend this time listening to true masters of the skills you seek to learn, you are using the third and most powerful method of learning by modeling a mentor. Take a few moments to work out your own slight edge plan for your personal development. Use a pencil and don't press start again until you've gotten your plan on paper. What are your dreams for your personal development? Be specific and vivid and give a timeline. What price will you have to pay? What day and date do you plan to start? What is one simple daily discipline you commit to? You may want to put the plans you've been creating onto a bulletin board that you'll see every day. Your bathroom mirror is a good place to write them too. Use a dry erase marker. The slight edge and your relationships. How often have you heard of a successful business person who achieved great financial success only at the expense of a rich family life? When writing about the law of association, I mentioned the importance of who you associate with in terms of its strategic effect on you. But there is a greater truth about your associations too, because the relationships you choose are not only a means to an end, they are also an end in themselves. All the success in the world means little if there is no one to share it with. Relationships, too, are both built up and torn down in the subtlest of ways. Because most people are not aware of the slight edge, the progress of their relationships tends to be a mystery. What makes a marriage grow richer over the years for one couple and grow stale, empty, and bitter for another? 9 times out of 10 or better, 19 times out of 20, there is no single significant answer. It's the little things, day by day, that add up over time to unshakable happiness or unsalvageable misery. You've no doubt heard the expression, it's the little things that count. There could scarcely be a more succinct statement of the slight edge, and chances are you heard it said in the context of a relationship. The remembered birthdays, the little gifts, the gestures, the kind words, the remembered favorite color, the 5 minutes snatched from an impossibly hectic day to drop everything and hear the other's news, the word of encouragement, the reminder of your own belief in the other person, the listening. It's been said that the most important statements of friendship are usually spoken with 5 words or less. That is the wisdom of the slight edge. Those tiny thoughts and gestures that are startlingly easy to do and tragically easy not to do. The future of every relationship you have, like that of your health, is a choice that is always in your hands and is no bigger than a penny. The key is to make the choice and keep making it. A special category of relationships, of course, is family. If you have children, you probably already know that they are in many ways your greatest legacy. No matter what the state of the educational system, the single most powerful influence on children will always be the people who raise them. Toss a rock into a pond, and you'll see ripples from its impact spreading out until they reach the opposite shore. The same thing happens in life, only in most cases, you never see those ripples. Everything you do is important. When you smile at a child and encourage him, or scold him and tell him he's no good, in either case, you may see the splash it makes, and you may see the first or second ripple. But the impact goes far, far beyond what you see. You don't see all the ripples. You teach someone to read 10 pages of a good book a day, and you may see how it changes her. But chances are you won't see how it changes her kids, and her kids' friends, and their friends' kids. And as these ripples spread out, they grow bigger. For better or for worse, with positive impact or negative impact, even your smallest actions create a ripple effect that has incalculably great impact on the world around you. No doubt you recognize this description of the ripple effect. It's our old friend, the slight edge. Now, take a little time to think about the relationships in your life and jot down a few thoughts about how you might work out your own slight edge plan for your deepening, strengthening, and enriching those relationships. This is perhaps the most personal area of the 5, so they will probably require some thoughtful consideration. Don't feel pressured to restart the audio until you've thoroughly answered a question. This is your life. This is the reason you're reading this book. What are your dreams for your relationships? Be specific and vivid, and write down a timeline. What price will you have to pay? What day and date do you plan to start? What one simple daily desire? Of all your plans, if you practice the slight edge, the results on this one may well be the most satisfying. The slight edge and your finances. Vince Lombardi wryly observed, winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. It's no accident that our exploration of the slight edge began with the story of a penny doubled. The world of finances is one of the easiest places there is to see, objectively and logically, the power of the slight edge in action. Everyone knows about the power of compound interest, right? Wrong. Everyone thinks they know about the power of compound interest, but most don't, not really. How many really do understand this power? 5%. The ones on the success curve of the slight edge. Remember the Pareto principle as applied to your goals deadlines? 80% of everything you do tends to get done in the last 20% of the time available. There's a similar law at work in most people's finances, only it's worse. It's Parkinson's Law, coined by Professor Cyril Northcote Parkinson. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. As applied to personal finances, it goes like this. Whatever I have, I spend. There is some good news here. In the last few years, the common sense of slight-edge personal finances has started making a comeback. The 1998 book, The Millionaire Next Door, bucked the trend toward flashier Donald Trump-style how-to finance books, and instead gave example after example of how a cross-section of extraordinarily ordinary people became wealthy without inheritance, without high-paying jobs, without making a killing in the stock market, without any of the usual breakthrough paths to riches, but by doing simple, easy things every day. The first of its 7 rules was, always live below your means. The book became a runaway bestseller. Living below your means is a classic slight-edge strategy. I bet you already have some very concrete thoughts about this area. Perhaps you've even been working on this part in the back.